Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. The Halo World Championship is underway and drama straight out of the gate. OpTic 3-0, they're through to the championship bracket, no problem at all. We'll see that in a few minutes time. But Ascend versus eUnited, massive drama in that match after a Game 5 shenanigans where one player's PC was freezing. The replay doesn't get granted. Would it have got granted to another team? That's what a lot of the pro players are implying. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. Just wanted to mention this quickly because I was going to mention the CDL camos in yesterday's video, but Activision were copy striking everything on Twitter. So, I mean, yeah, Crone tweeted this out as a result. So I was going to share them. That's why there was that kind of jarring cut at last minute's video or last night's video, just because I had to cut that section out. And look, we'll see them in due course anyway. Just know for sure that they're still not as good as we'd hope they'd be. They might be marginally better than recent years camos from what we've seen so far. They at least cover the whole gun, but there's nothing special going on there. It's the classic copy and paste. Looks like a camo you get when you get 10 headshots, and then they just change the colors based on the teams. So yeah, that's the update on that front. This just quickly as well, confirmation it seems within the game files that bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, crimson, iridescent, and then top 250 are going to be the league play ranks for the upcoming game. So yeah, that's what we believe is going to be the case. We saw the talk about this iridescent thing a couple of weeks ago now, maybe a few days ago, I don't really know. And then the top 250 on top of that is pretty cool as well. So I guess that's going to be an actual ladder. Hopefully it's like Radiant in Valorant, when you can see all the top players, something to strive for. I think that's maybe how they had it in the most recent game as well. Hopefully it's a little bit better than the Vanguard rank play system, and of course, not holding out too much hope. This just to note, not sure if I can really play the video or whatever here, but people have been in the firing range testing out the movement, and some people are saying that the strafe, the strafe speed and also the sprint out time is slightly better than it was in the beta. That may just be people thinking that in their head, but even watching the clips, it seems like that's possible. The other thing that they have done is seemingly nerfed the bunny hop. So we saw that the slide cancel isn't really a thing. They want to get rid of that. But there were certain players on the casual subreddit complaining about the bunny hop movement mechanic where people fly around corners and kill them before they can react, seemingly. And apparently the bunny hop is now going to be gone. So they've removed the ability for you to strafe, jump, and then jump again straight away. That was one way that you could try and chow someone off a power position by doing the bunny hop around a corner. That movement now is apparently gone. So look, if that is indeed the case, then well, we are going to have a tough time dealing with people who are setting up shop, right? I mean, obviously that's the way they want the game to be played, but seemingly any movement mechanic which might give a skilled player some element of advantage over a player that's just sitting back there relaxing is not what Infinity would want to see. So yeah, we'll see about that one. But yeah, apparently that might be gone. But as people have been saying that seemingly the ADS speed, the strafe speeds might be slightly faster, might not be, but look, still, I suppose that could be a positive thing as well if they're getting rid of the bunny hop. So we'll see what happens when the full game is released. But people have been messing around with things, of course, because the campaign is now out. People have played the campaign, and there's some ways to have a feel about what multiplayer might look like, even though we have seen in the past that sometimes the campaign movement's a bit different to multiplayer, so things could still change. But realistically, what we saw in the beta is probably what we're going to see in the full release of the game. Let's talk about the Halo World Championship then, as Crone says. Formal and Frosty, both competing in the Halo Worlds. Former COD players, of course, were actually briefly on Sentinels right when Formal subbed in for that one event a little bit ago now, when the whole Royal 2 drama or whatever was going down, and even Shotzzy and Scump and those guys are actually there in attendance. I don't know, I guess look, they've flown them out there to watch party it and stuff to help the viewership, and it's pretty cool stuff. And you can even see here, this is what the guys who have organised this did. We saw this actually in Call of Duty in the past, back in, I think the event, I remember it was Anaheim 2019, where they had all the banners up on the wall of all the teams that had won previous major events. Really cool stuff. And Shotzzy can see his name here, the 2018 World Championship winners on Splice, of course, as it was before he came over to Call of Duty, and has had a decent amount of success, let's just say, since then, with the World Championship on his own in COD as well, and Formal's going for that feat as well over these coming days. Now, this was the big drama of last night at this Halo tournament. It does seem like whatever tourney there is, there's going to be some big drama. And look, we talk about the CDL making some questionable decisions. This certainly was causing an absolute ruckus, let's say. So this is Bran of Ascends, and one of the best European teams. And they went Game 5 in their pool play match with eUnited, and then apparently in Game 5, when it was 7-7 in the final Slayer, his teammate's game was constantly freezing, audio stopped working. The admins have awarded a win to eUnited with us being unable to play the game. It was 3 versus 4. The issues were raised immediately. The admins still have issues with the win, or still have issued the win, without us being able to even play the Game 5. This is our livelihood. It is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe what I've just witnessed. honest, this is the biggest load of trash I've ever seen in my entire life. Unacceptable isn't the word. I've never seen this happen in my life. I've seen full replays after someone's equipment stopped working several times over the course of Halo Infinite. I honestly can't believe this. We didn't even get to play a game 5 and they were awarded the win for free. I'm lost for words. Literally took an admin's word who was flustered and said he didn't even see the issues. Like, so apparently that's what 343 have done, the guys who make the calls. Like, the admin said, yeah, he didn't really see anything, so apparently that's fine. Shout out to eUnited as well for not replaying when they asked if they wanted to. So, I mean, yeah, bad sportsmanship isn't the word. We're all the same and do the same thing. So imagine if it were you, and then going on to say they swapped out the faulty PC after the series, right? So, like, after the series is over, then they swapped out the faulty PC, not giving them the chance to replay. So that is, of course, that side of the story and what the players felt like. So there was an issue with his teammates' PC and audio, and then, well, they told the admins that, yeah, this isn't right, and then instead of letting them replay the match, they just say, well, play it to conclusion, the team stops playing it, they lose, unlucky you lose the game 5. And as others have been pointing out here, is there a bit of double standards, right? If this was OpTic, if this was eUnited, if this was Sentinels, if this was one of the top squads, would they have treated this slightly differently? I'm hard pressed to think that if this was OpTic in this situation and one of their players was lagging and stuttering game 5, that this wouldn't be looked at more seriously, right? I think that it's very difficult to imagine a world in which if one of the real top teams, the favourites, let's say, with the massive fan bases, were in a similar position, would they just brush this over and say, you know what, the rules are the rules, unlucky? Like, I kind of think they'd look into it a little bit more, and even some of the players have implied similar things here. Now, HCS come out with a kind of their reaction to this, their decision making on the matter, and of course they're going to give their side of the story from their perspective, and it says the following: during game 5, a player on Ascend caused the disconnect of his own headset, right? And of course they were saying that the reason why he did this was because the game was broken and he couldn't even, the audio wasn't working anyway. The players were instructed to continue playing while the referee supported the player in troubleshooting. The players on Ascend stopped playing, went on to lose the game. Per section, etc. of the handbook, in the event of an issue, players are expected to immediately raise their concerns, which apparently they did, and continue to play their match unless otherwise instructed by the referee. Situations in which the administration may deem a game restart to be appropriate include, but are not limited to, an actual critical malfunction of provided equipment or the occurrence of a major bug. Because this was a player-caused issue, the restart is not appropriate and the results of the game are final. So they're saying that, you know, and also they talk about the malfunctioning PC, the claims of the malfunctioning PC. They can't verify this because the referees were made aware of this when the players stopped playing and stood up. As a result, they couldn't verify these claims, and therefore they swapped the PC out anyway. So quite the statement, really. They're saying that the reason why, like, this happened was because the player unplugged his own headset, and they couldn't, well, they didn't have any evidence to say that the PC was doing anything dodgy. So either, like, seems to me the referee just wasn't doing his job, right? Because surely the referee has got to get this information, and if he can't get that information as to whether the PC was being dodgy by just watching what was going on their monitors and then transmitting that to, I guess, the admin team that makes the decisions, then what else can they really do? Because, I mean, yeah, obviously the players are going to say what they say, and I think I'm definitely leaning on the side of the players having a good point here, but at the same time, like, you know, you can't just allow a replay in all situations when someone says, oh, my PC's broken, like, my headset's broken, like, you know, we've got to replay the game or something. Like, I don't think that was the case here, but obviously you've got to make sure that players don't abuse that to their advantage. So, I don't know, I think this could be handled way better on many different fronts here, and even as Maniac goes on to say from OpTic, if Snipedown's headset unplugged and all of eUnited stood still and stopped playing at 7-7, there would have been a replay. I don't blame eUnited, but this is 100% on HCS. So again, he's implying that the reason why they've made this call is because it's Ascend and it's not one of the top dogs and top organizations that are expected to win the tournament. So honestly, I think there's kind of interesting points on both sides, and even as Respectful goes on to say, this is such a false narrative. We love that on this channel, to save FaZe. I cannot believe it. Game freezing and audio issues, but we're supposed to play 3v4. Saying we disconnect our own headset is such an insult to us players and the integrity of competitive Halo, and everybody knows it. I know the truth. So yeah, quite the drama, quite the statements. And as I say, I'm definitely inclined to agree in this situation it should have been a replay, but I guess they didn't have enough information, they felt, as an administration to ensure that this wasn't just the players making this up. But of course, you know, they weren't making it up. I mean, I think that's pretty clear. But yeah, I don't know, right? And even Snakebite says from Sentinels, literally don't understand how this is possible. At Dashy, of course, one of the guys that runs this stuff from the 343 side, surely we can run a better tournament than that. Of course, this is their world championship, right? And, you know, even they posted an official ruling and then replaced the PC like no one in the venue was going to see, right? So, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Should the hate be going eUnited's way? The rumor has it they didn't want to replay the situation, but can you blame them too much? I don't know. It's a messy one, right? And they've gone for the official ruling. Ascend are still, I believe, in the tournament. Even Dashy goes on to say, unfortunate situation, one that no administration wants to have to rule on. Players must continue playing unless instructed by a referee. So that's often how it works. But like, I mean, I don't know. I really don't understand this whole players must continue playing thing, because if your game is broken and you've got no sound, like if I continue playing, I'm just going to lose. Like, what's the point? I don't really get why that's a thing that players have to do if their game is literally broken. I guess the idea is that while they continue playing, then the referee can actually assess what the situation is and whether it does merit a replay. But obviously it just went badly wrong from all fronts here, and even Ascend themselves added Dashy himself and said, is this for real? But yeah, nothing has changed. Those are the rules, and well, at least according to what 343 and the HCS guys have done here, and therefore Ascend lost the series game 5, and United probably were like, damn, we got away with that one, so we definitely don't want to replay even if they gave us the offer to do that. So yes, Ascend still in the tournament. I think they are 1-2 in their group, so they'll start in losers, but yeah, not ideal at all, of course, for them, because if they'd have won that series, they'd have been in a much better position to do some serious damage here. Let's talk about how the OpTic guys got on, of course. Favorites for this tournament, you could well argue. They took down Complexity 3-0 the first game they played in their group. The second game, they took down Native Red. Close series, actually. They lost the Slayer game 2, and then they clutched up game 3, game 4, and won the series anyway. And yeah, Tribute was playing really well today. He was actually frying in the game 2 as well, despite the fact that they lost that one against this Native Red team. And then yeah, even of course Scump was doing his watch party as well. And they played Octane Esports last match of the day, the team that's also associated with the Boston Breach, if you guys know the CDL, and they took them down, I think 3-0, or it was relatively comfortable, at least I'm pretty sure. And well, that was job done for the OpTic guys on the day. And yeah, Formal was feasting as well in some of these maps as well. The crazy thing is for OpTic is I don't believe they lost a pool play match this entire year. They've lost maps here and there. They've played some good teams. They've also played some not so good teams, let's just say, in some of these pools over the course of the season. But still, I mean, these numbers are pretty remarkable. They ended the entire season undefeated in pool play on LAN. 17-0 series count on LAN this season in pool play. So yeah, whether they can transfer it, just pretty impressive numbers, to be honest. So now this is what the bracket looks like here. The quarterfinals, which will begin today. OpTic versus G1, Sentinels G2 in the other side of things, FaZe, United, Cloud9, and then Native Red, the other team that made it out of OpTic's pool. So yeah, obviously some top dogs in here. Cloud9, FaZe, United, Sentinels, all the real favourites are up here. Ascend could well have been here over United if they won that game 5, because these are how the pools turned out. So all these 4 teams, Oxygen, Jailings, Fnatic, Ascend, they go down, I believe, to the elimination round 1, and then the other teams, of course, are in the winners bracket, as we just saw. So very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Drama everywhere, as always. Like, have the administration and the decision makers and the referees got this one right? Are the Ascend guys rightfully annoyed? And if this had been another team like an OpTic, would they have done the same thing? I think that's certainly a question that may well be asked here, and of course has been asked, as we have seen. And also just this from Formal quickly saying that Lucid, as was confirmed last night, just the regular season MVP. So they got the regular season MVP, whether, you know, who's going to get the championship weekend MVP, maybe one of the OpTic guys as well, if they go on to win the entire event. And speaking of the World Championship, just wanted to mention this here from Brian Sat. Average COD champs placing in the CDL franchise side. FaZe have a 1.67, Thieves 4.25, and honestly most organizations around that kind of ballpark. LAG over, I guess, well, I mean, yeah, their champs placing isn't looking particularly special, but very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.